All right, let's talk business plan for 2026. If you're an agent and you want to have your best year ever next year, you can't wait until January to start planning. What you do right now in Q4 is going to determine how you start next year and honestly, if you have momentum or not. I'm in the middle of my own business planning, and right now at the time of this recording, it is early October, and I want to share exactly how I approach it. What's working, what's not, where I'm investing, and how I'm setting up myself up for a stronger 2026. My name is Spencer Su with eXp Realty, and this year we'll close about 90 million plus, which will be our best year ever. And I treat this last quarter like my personal new year already. This is where I clean up the database, fix what's broken, and double down on what's working. But doubling down is not that simple. So we're gonna break it down step by step on what you can do right now so that you get your 2026 into a great start. Number one, figure out what's working. Before I make any plan, I need to know the truth, not my feelings, the actual numbers. And this is where platforms like QuickBooks, if you use it for accounting, and Sisu, which is more of an analytical tool, comes in. Because if you're not tracking your finances and your production, you're just making emotional decisions based off of what maybe you see on this video or what everyone else is doing. I want to know personally, what's my ROI by marketing channel? What's my cost per lead? What's my cost per closing? Which agents on the team are producing and which aren't? How should I reassign who gets what lead and opportunities? What's my net profit margin? Too many agents only look at the top line GCI, but GCI doesn't pay your bills. GCI doesn't fund your ultimate growth. So if you haven't already, get your books cleaned up, sync your QuickBooks, sync your Sisu data, look at every dollar that came in and every dollar that went out. Then once you see the full picture, you can start making decisions. Let's get to it in the next step. Because once you know your numbers, you should ask yourself, what should you leverage up and what should you cut? Which things actually created opportunities, closings, and which things just made you busy? You can also do a time audit. So for example, for my marketing manager, I don't want her spending 70% of her time doing Instagram content, where Instagram only brings in a few deals a year versus YouTube brings me in like 20%. So I want most of her time focused on YouTube for that reason, right? Because it actually delivers growth and delivers real returns. So as you can see, instead of just trying something new, just because it's trendy or you hear it from some other coach, ask yourself first, what is already working? And can you just spend more time, effort, refine the process to be able to scale up more? Now, this might be increasing ad spends. This might be hiring a better editor. Maybe you need a videographer. Maybe you need different things. Maybe it's just different process improvements to improve that specific funnel. On the flip side, if certain other pillars are not doing well, like cold calling FISBOs, open houses, don't be afraid to pull it off and decide, do you still actually invest in it or do you just back out on it completely? This is an also opportunity where you can bring in AI to help with all of these different processes, maybe making marketing more efficient, helping with admin, streamlining systems. The goal is simple: more leverage up for the things that are working and less waste. Number three, now the question is, should you spend money on marketing, AI, or people? Because this is the question that you need to ask yourself periodically. And the answer really depends on where is the real bottleneck. If your systems are messy, you may want to bring in a person to help you structure it. Like for example, I just hired a director of operations because I felt my internal processes are messy and I just didn't enjoy a lot of the accountability and coaching side of things directly with my agents. I like the strategy, but not the weekly, hey, look, did you make your calls? Now, if I feel like the processes are slow, they're not on top of things, I bring in AI. If I feel like my pipeline is light, you got to bring in more marketing ad spend to bring in the top of the funnel. In 2026, I'm focused a lot more on efficiency, not just adding more. I want tools, systems, and people that create time, not just endless chores and activities and projects. So as I plan, I look at each of the area. For each of the marketing, is the ROI strong enough to scale? For AI, can I actually automate this or make it faster or remove these kind of cumbersome tasks? And then people, is there a hire that frees up my time or adds capacity or can bring in a top line revenue? These are all the questions that you need to be asking yourself, and then you got to implement, because just even if you want to hire somebody, it's not like instant. You got to spend time to post on job boards, you got to interview, you got to get them ramped up. As you can see, that can easily be 3 to 6 months out. Now, step 4, let's talk about finishing this year strong. A lot of agents are already checking out right now. They're mentally already prepared for the holidays, not doing much work, but the best agents, they know Q4 is where you build the next year's pipeline. Now, they may not be doing anything today, but you know as heck they may be wanting to do something in the new year or in the springtime. So what are the great things you can do right now? Do client events, doing some check-ins, reviewing every buyer and seller who said maybe later and getting them re-engaged and having conversations again. You never know where they're at. Because think about it, the conversations and dialogues you have now are going to be your closings in Q1 and Q2. But if you wait until January to get momentum, you're already going to be 3 months behind. So use this time, build relationships, tighten systems, clean data, update marketing assets. Every small thing you do now is going to compound in the next year. I treat the October to December timeframe like my own mini new year, where I'm going to build momentum, create systems, why it's usually a quieter time. Because once it's busy, you're not going to have as much time to figure out where are the leaks in this ship. Now here's the truth though. You don't have to figure all this out alone. I've learned that sometimes you just need a partner, someone to bounce ideas off of, someone to partner with, someone to make sure that they can help be accountable, but also see where are the holes in the system, because you may be too busy in the weeds. That's why one of the biggest reasons I'm with EXP for the last 6 years is the collaboration, the partnership, the access to top producers like me. That's what has changed everything, because we have a financial alignment if you were to work with me. So if you're serious about business planning and you want to actually execute next year and you're not finding success with your current brokerage, your team, let's connect, because I'm happy to share what's working, what tools we're using, and how we're structuring for growth even in one of the lowest transaction volume times in the entire last decade. Sometimes a short 15-minute conversation, especially since I've seen it all, can easily change your business, but you still got to run it and execute on it. 2026 belongs to the agents who treat their business like a business. Get your data tight. Double down on what works, cut the fluff and the expenditures that are not working, and start building your momentum now, not later on. So if you want to help plan your next year, reach out, let's go over a game plan together, finish strong, and I want to see you successful in 2026. Go get it.